Whatever the total thing was.
That's freaking funny.
Huh?
Sorry about that.
Well, I thought my tinnitus had come back.
Turn the volume on. Well, let's first thing, Chris is gonna issue the oath of office for the three newly elected council people, councilmen.
You're gonna go slow, right?
Hear an echo on somebody's phone here.
Isn't that going?
I don't hear a thing. Oh, that's better.
Me too. I
Hear anything? Okay. I can do both at the same time.
We need to do all three.
Oh.
We have three newly elected council people.
Well, I
Number three.
What?
I'll go over here.
Oh, Bob, yeah.
This should be Councilman Zant, Dimick, and Ankeny. Well, we can do all three at the same time, though. So stand and raise your right hand. And then repeat after me. I do solemnly swear or affirm
Do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support, obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States.
that I will support, defend,
Obey and
Obey
defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Wyoming.
and the Constitution of the State of Wyoming.
That I have not knowingly
That I have not knowingly
violated any law related to my election or appointment,
violated any laws related to my election
or cause it to be done by others.
or cause to be done by others.
And that I will discharge the duties of my office
And that I will discharge the duties of my office
with fidelity.
with fidelity.
So help you or. That's it. Congratulations.
You should go slow into small pieces.
Oh, it's slow, sir.
Yeah, but smaller pieces, it's like trying to eat it.
Shorter piece. I agree. The Constitution of the United States of America is pretty short. Let's give the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let the minutes show that all council men are, all councilmen are present. Can I have the audience please introduce yourself?
Kathy Blair.
Carl Fulton, Jim Gores, Gary Wise,
Brock Roberts. Lloyd Boyle, Summer Strom.
Jordy Line.
thank you. Thanks for coming. First thing we have is approval of bill December 30th, 2020 to January 12th, 2021. As everybody had a chance to review them and
Where are the security cameras placed? And who for? The fourth one on the bottom. Security cameras? For,
That was a void.
oh, okay.
Voided that. That was what was previously on the last.
Okay.
Minutes. Yeah, that's just the boy club. Dispensary.
Kind of a motion to approve the bills December 30th, 2020, January 12th, 2021.
So moved.
Second. Been moved and seconded that we approve the bills from December 30th, 2020 to January 12th, 2021. Any further discussion? None being, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Uh, Everybody had a chance to review the minutes from December 29th, 2020. Have a motion to approve the minutes for December 29th, 2020.
So moved.
Can I have a second? Been moved and seconded. We approve the minutes from December 29th, 2020. Any discussion? And additions, deletions, corrections? None being. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. We have two permits, Apple Valley Tree and Lawn Care is the first one, business license. They're out of Riverton. That was an online application. That's right.
Correct. And the Apple Valley, their previous business license was under Cedar Mountain.
Oh,
And so it's just, it's the same company, just different name.
Okay.
That we missed last year.
Can I have a motion to approve?
I still move.
Can I have a second?
a second.
Been moved and second that we approve Apple Valley Tree and Lawn Care's business license. Any further discussion? None being, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Approved. Ranger Mobile Repair business license of the mobile mechanics application. You don't know any history on that, Chris?
I don't, it just came in over the internet, the information that we have available for the kinds of practice all I have.
Can I have a motion to approve?
I do believe that they were wanting to do some kind of a mobile mechanic type deal where they can come remotely to Shoshoni and do mechanic services within town.
With service truck.
And service truck.
I'm not sure, but they might even do unlocking services. Some people have locked their keys out, I've been told, or keys in.
I still move to approve the business license for Ranger Mobile Repair.
Can I have a second?
Second that.
Been moved and second, we approve the business license for Ranger Mobile Repair. Any other discussion? I honestly know nothing about them. But, well, I don't know anything bad.
That's good.
Right, sort of thing. If no further discussion, all in favor of approving Ranger Mobile Repairs business license, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. Kathy, can you give us a little update on, we're having that's Fremont County Association of Government. We're having a luncheon here. We're going to have it over at the community room at the fire hall. And we have no restaurant or here in town. Kathy Soul and Kathy Blair volunteered to cook a meal, cater a meal, and we discussed it at the last meeting. So can you sort of give us an update on what we know now?
We've sent out the invites. We've got approximately 4 responding so far. And so we've got the menu, tentative menu, and we really don't have any kind of anything else until we start getting a better idea of who's coming and what they're going to choose. We do have a choice of 2 entrees, Salisbury steak or chicken cordon bleu. And so, but I need to hear back as to anything else.
Sure.
And so I do have invites sent out. So if you guys received one, I'd love to hear back from you. So
These FCAG meetings sometimes be pretty informative. They're real good. I think you all got an invite. All the councils invited and hope you attended. So sometimes be pretty educational what's discussed in those meetings, and it's right here now. But
The date and the time, please.
that's the 28th, if I'm not mistaken.
it's on a
29th.
Thursday.
Yeah, it's on a Thursday.
Probably 28th, the
Either 28th or the 29th.
28th.
Yes, it is. And it's at 12:30.
The luncheon's at 12:30. The meeting will start at 1:30. And typically, all the mayors in the county will be there, usually at least one county commissioner representative is there. Sometimes we have solid waste sometimes there. We've had YDOT, health services. I mean, quite a variety of people show up for that. Sometimes bringing information. We've had CWC's president there. Had a YDOT. I mean,
I've been to 2 or 3 of them.
Yeah. So they're
When do you want to know?
Preferably by the end of this week.
Oh, okay.
So we can start lining it out.
that way the ladies can
Sure.
figure out how they're gonna cook and everything.
Kathy, do you have anything to say in addition? Okay. So, any other questions for me?
Very good. Contracts and leases. I'll get you now.
Sorry about that. Contracts and leases, they're on your council packets. They're all the same. First one is the Shoshoni Association. Was there any changes in this one?
You mean from last year?
Yeah.
Substantial.
So the Shoshoni Activities Association is the one that changed. The rest were the same as they were last year, but they're still included here. But I included the Shoshoni Activities Association first, since there was changes.
Basically, what I'm proposing, the changes are, in the past, they had 2 water lines hooked up. They have one of them going just to a bathroom, and the other went to the grounds, water grounds. And they would turn the water on in the summer, turn it off in the winter. And then they also have a power line, you know, they have their power service out there also. What we brought up in the last meeting or meeting before when we was kicking this around, my suggestion that we treat it similar as we treat the rifle range. Currently, the rifle range, the town does pay the power out there. Reason being, it's a town-owned facility, and we're providing a service for the community. I feel the rodeo grounds is also a town-owned facility, and I believe they're providing a service out there also by providing that to the public. I believe it enhances our community. My suggestion would be that we waive the water fee, and we pay the minimum. And I was talking to Gloria Phillips, secretary, I think treasurer of that association, and she says right now with nothing running, it runs them $26 a month. And I think that's my feeling, that we should pay that. They'll still provide the insurance. We do have a lease agreement with them for $100 a month. They'll pay that, or we can waive that, whatever the council's thoughts on this. But that's my suggestion. I left that in there. I mean, 100 a year. Did I spoke wrong? Yeah, it's 100 a year. Yeah, it's $100 a year lease. But
they're in trouble with COVID's probably been hurting them with the rodeo and stuff.
It
I know
did.
when I went by, it was pretty slow.
it did last year. They only had a couple events. They're hoping, don't know what this summer and spring, and they're hoping more. One thing they've got some new blood that's hopefully going to help them a little bit. They've been pretty short-handed. People that have been running it for a lot of years are my age
And more.
Yeah, but anyway, generally, they are getting a little younger. But I think they're open for more events, and they're willing, to encourage some more events. They put a lot of time and effort and money over the years to create what they got, what we got. But they kind of, I think at this time, need a little help, and that would ease the financial burden on them. It's not a whole lot of money to the city, but that would be my suggestion. I want thoughts from the council.
Talk to me about item number 12.
If hopefully in somewhere in the future we may look, we would like the facility to look better. Part of the things, cutting the weeds and cleaning it up and stuff like that. We hope sometime in the future to create a more attractive looking space. There again, it's just part of making Shoshoni look a little nicer.
Well, we need to keep the event going, that's for damn sure.
Yes.
I mean, I enjoy it.
Yes.
Needs it.
Like I said, ideas, suggestions.
Oh, I was just going to ask if Gloria had any indigestion over any of this. But you said you're already busy with Gloria. Well, she'll let you know how she feels.
Sure. I talked to her today.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
talked to her today, she's very appreciative of us considering this. For sure.
Well, if I had my way, I'd charge them a token $50 or something a year, but then you get into that, well, you did this for the rodeo association. What are you gonna do for everybody else? But
We are charging them 100.
Huh?
We do charge them $100.
yeah, but I mean, if I had my way, I'd cut that in half just as a
Well,
help you
that's
out.
not, like I said, $1. Don't
Yeah,
charge them anything. I
Yeah,
mean,
but
I think they're providing a service for us.
well, they are, and they, like you say, they put a lot of work in out there.
Yeah,
Through the years.
They've been just have thousands of dollars worth of improvements.
Yeah. They put in all the pipe, didn't they?
Yeah,
I thought so.
yeah, they've done all them, they've done.
Yeah.
To
All the
my
improvements
knowledge.
are from the rodeo association.
Well, we could look at doing that with the water
Yeah.
and then maybe waive that $100 for till COVID's freaking over, if it ever ends. And revisit it when COVID, when things back to normal.
They're not a for-profit.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, and I think it's a real asset. And they actually wanna, try to develop it a little more. They get a little more help, they'll be able to.
Yeah, I know they have $100, but just.
Yeah, I know,
Is it kind of a,
but we don't charge the rifle club any fee, because they're providing a service for the rifle.
but well, you know where I'm coming from. It's
Yeah,
just
I
kind of like,
But that gives them $100 can be quite a bit to them.
Yeah.
When they're sorting everything out.
won't quit.
Well, you want to make a motion, Ron?
I'm afraid it'll die for lack of a second, but I'll make the motion that we waive the $100 a year fee. Huh? And the,
And the power, both of these said that the town would be responsible for the minimum water. If there was an overage on water, they'd pay the overage, and they agreed to that.
sure,
And the same with the power.
Yeah.
They agreed to that, because there'll be a bump once or twice if they will have over the power, and the same with the water.
you got that right, Kathy? That's my motion.
I'll second.
So what is an overage in electricity? I mean, I understand we have a water meter.
Well,
We can see how much we pay for water, but I don't understand how we,
She told me, I'm gonna round it up to $27. She said like $26.66 or something. But anything over, say, $27 a month, they would be responsible for.
then that needs to be recorded.
Yeah.
Yes,
That's what I was going
Okay.
with, was the 2627
Yeah.
that you'd mentioned before.
Yeah, that's what yes.
Just to build some goodwill is and actually where I'm coming from.
No, correct. And I agree. It's been moved and second that we waive the $100.
We don't have a second.
Nice second.
You second it? Okay.
Been moved and second, we waive the $100 annual fee. That we will cover the basic water bill. They'll pay any overage. We'll set the basic electric price at $27. Anything over $27 a month, they will pay. And the rest of the contract as written.
Yeah, I'm good with the rest of the contract. I am with Bob that 12's kind of
Well,
open, but cross that bridge when we get to
Well,
it. So,
past they got problems with weeds, and
yeah.
weeds weren't taken care of. And so
Oh,
that, when I read through here, I did not see anything about, so number 6 talks about responsible for maintenance and repairs. But how do we check that's up to quote our standards?
oh,
Do we?
It says number 6, associations will be fully responsible for maintenance and repairs. Okay.
We,
I understand exactly what you're saying, especially in the future. We're in the position right now, we can say, you know, like, hey, Bob or Gloria,
Right.
looking a little trashy down there, and they'll say, oh yeah, we'll go take care of that. But yeah. I'm good.
we must have in the past, only thing is we, they've been responsible for weeds and we have helped them out too.
Yeah.
They usually pay up, what you're suggesting, Bob, and I think that's probably a good point. Do we need to draw out especially the weeds instead of,
I think they ought to be treated like anybody else and say,
yeah,
this is, we have a violation of the weed ordinance that we have in town.
sure.
That should be,
I
noted.
think that's a good addition.
I agree.
Oh, I agree. We've sort of took it for granted, but it really wasn't in writing.
Yeah, so, say they're responsible for it. They can be cited for having weeds like anybody else.
We'll have Perry add that to the contract, that addition. That's an amendment to the contract to require them to follow town ordinances on weeds.
Yeah, or all town ordinances.
Yeah.
All town, yeah. And that way we're not assuming it's in
Right.
writing, correct?
I'm not sure is that how to handle that, to have it recorded. Is it going to be two motions, one to amend it and then one for me to approve it?
We should approve the amendment first,
Right.
then we approve the motion.
Thank you.
There hasn't been any.
So we can have a motion to approve the amendment to require them to follow town ordinances.
So moved.
Second. Been moved and seconded. We approved, we had the addition to the amendment to the contract that they approved, that they follow all town ordinances. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Now, we have the amended contract that's been approved. Can I have a motion on the totality of the contract as amended?
Yes, I will. Oh,
No, go ahead.
go ahead.
Who's first?
A second.
No further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Contract approved. I will get this Activity Association and their signature and let them know. I don't think there'll be any objection to any of this. So, thanks. Thank you. Trash Committee, I'm gonna make those appointments at our next meeting. Oh, let's go more leases. The rest of the leases are, we have, read them off.
3 Shoshoni hangar space leases on the Buddy Washington. David Maddock. Albert Kenyon. That's the $100 per year for the lease of the airport hangars. Same terms and conditions as previously passed.
did say none of this has changed.
Nothing's changed.
Nothing changed.
It's just a yearly lease.
Yeah, for the,
And I will motion to approve all three.
Motion to approve all three leases.
I'll second that.
Then move to second, we approve all three hangar leases out at the airport. As Chris has reported. Any further discussion? None being, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The lease is approved.
One more. This one is under your email, because we're able to council pack number 3, they're in legal forms. So we're able to include the packet. So if you go back to your mail, council pack number 3, you'll have these listed all screen share. And this first one is for Atlantic City Federal Credit Union.
Yeah, I've read them before.
Actually, having the same terms and conditions as previous lease that expired. The second lease is for Charles and Nancy Herbst for the property located as described. You can tilt your head and read that. Try and there you go. And then the third lease is for Randy Haig. This says Ramage on the lease documents for 414 First Street, the old home here at First Street. This is the third lease. Again, none of these terms or conditions have changed from the previous agreed upon lease.
Can I have a motion to approve?
You want to do them one at a time or all of them, or?
You're making the motion, you tell me.
Oh, I'd move to approve all.
You know, none of them have been any changes.
I don't even think
Yeah.
Charles and Nancy are even running anything. They haven't even put anything in there. have they? So. if you-
their goals in there.
Oh, they do.
Yeah, it's just that 68.
Yeah.
Where's that?
Poison Creek.
Oh,
Kind of southwest of the sewer lagoons.
What's the average cost for a trailer rental space in town?
Depends on the trailer, let's see,
Lots usually go the same price for lock and rental.
300.
300, I would guess.
Yeah,
I rented
That's what
one
Matt was
years
paying,
ago.
He was paying 300 when he was.
When you go back and see what her rental was.
130.
130. I think the last time that was revisited was when, oh, I guess that would have been 4 years ago. Scott was mayor.
He's gonna
If you
very
want to
good
talk
deal.
about raising it, you know, I'm okay with that.
I have no idea what
Yeah.
bebouts are charging on their lots.
Well, to be honest with you, I noticed it was 130 and it's pretty cheap, but she takes
Yeah.
care of the place, even with her dogs. She keeps the dog poop cleaned up and it looks decent around there, so. I would hate to raise it to the point where she moved out and then, but you know, what's fair is fair, fair market value, however you want to look at it.
Did, yeah, that is pretty reasonable. I don't know, how long has she been in there? Do you
Oh,
know?
man,
Long.
she's been in there a while.
Good price.
Oh, it is a good price.
Do you have any, I don't know if that price was set when you first moved there and it has never changed? Or
Yeah, we didn't change it when
Yeah.
Scott, we just kept renewing it for the same reason, because she keeps it looking decent.
Does the town have any more for rent?
Pardon me?
Is there any more for rent?
Well, what we can do, if you want, is I can withdraw my motion or move to approve the other two, then we can discuss the,
That's perfect.
yeah, however you want to handle it. Because I'm not opposed to looking at it. If that's
Mhm.
not fair market value and it's like, well, wow, you know, let's rent everything in town. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
No, I agree.
I move to amend. So your motion is for all three to be. approved?
Yeah, I can just withdraw that
Okay.
motion. I'll just withdraw it. Can I do that? Okay,
You didn't have a second, did you?
good point.
Point.
That's why I said it
No,
might not get
yeah,
a second, because I
no,
knew that
no
might be
second.
the issue that
There's no second.
Yeah.
Can I have a motion to approve two of the leases?
yeah, the Charles and Nancy Herbst and the airport hangars.
An airport hangar.
I'll move.
We're doing
Already
the
already did the airport hangar.
Yeah, we already did it. Then, sorry about that.
Yeah,
Yeah. One for Charles and Nancy for the pasture land.
right. Been moved and second, we approved the Atlantic City Credit Union rental
Mhm.
and Charles and Nancy Herbst pasture rental.
Right.
Any further discussion? None being, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Contracts approved.
I move we table Brandy Haig's lease. Until next meeting, get further information before making a decision.
I'll second.
Been moved and seconded that we table Randy Haig's contract to the next meeting. That'll give us an opportunity to investigate and talk with Randy.
Sure.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. That all the leases? Sir. Trash committee, we'll move that on to the next meeting. Engineering study. What we would like to do is the land we purchased, 113 acres. And we got between 7th and 4th Street out to the cemetery. One of the things we're gonna be doing, we would like to run a sewer line. And one of the things we're looking at a sewer line out there that Wyoming Mushroom Farms are looking at potential housing An expansion and a sewer line would service the housing. I've been working with both Wyoming Business Council and Rural Development, U.S. Rural Development, on grants to make this happen. Our first step to do this, we need to hire an engineering firm to do a preliminary design. This preliminary design, estimates I'm sort of getting would probably between $30,000 and $50,000. Through rural development, we could roll that in to the project. How this would go with the Wyoming Business Council, we would be looking at probably a 50-50 grant. I don't know if we can get a 75-25, but a 50-50 grant is probably likely. They're they like the project a lot. I think that would be they look favorable upon the project. We had a meeting with their board with the people that would be involved with this. We also talked, like I said, rural development. They like teaming up with Wyoming Business Council on a project like this. Their maximum amount of grant is 45%. So that would be a maximum amount of 450,000 could be grant. How they determine what that will be, they will look at the ability of the town, what the town can afford. If they figure the town can afford $100,000, then their grant would be $400,000. Be $900,000 grant, $100,000. If they estimated that if they felt by their formulas that we can afford $250,000, their participation would be $250,000 grant and $250,000 either loan or cash. However, we work that out between, but the two entities would work together with us on that. What that would do, that would enable the Wyoming Mushroom Farm there, that would enable them to develop their subdivision out there. That would also help the town. We could develop our land we've just purchased. And one of the things we're looking at potentially, is we have the 40 acres right next to town. I don't know, the land we just purchased, it actually goes to the alley behind, Maple Street. It goes past the fence. And so it goes between 4th and 7th Street, and it goes down to where the senior housing is. That's right up to that. That would also enable us to develop that and also to add senior housing, and if so desired. I know our 4 units are paid for this month, but I have a representative from the Wyoming Mushrooms here, Bobby Hernandez. He's here to speak a little bit on and ask questions on their vision of what they plan to do out there. Yes, please do. Bobby's assistant manager. How's it perform?
Yeah, so my name is Bobby or Robert Fernandez. Been in town now. I'll be Shoshoni's newest resident. Been here all 5 days now. Moved up from California, Northern California. So getting used to the weather. I first came out here back in September. The farm brought me on as a consultant, and my recommendation was for me to come here. The farm has suffered a lot this year, primarily due to COVID, and like many businesses have, of course. But the farm right now, what we're doing there right now is we're trying to rehab the place. It needs a lot of work. The employees that we have there right now are doing all kinds of rehab. So we're going to be doing that for the next 2 to 3 weeks. Just so you have a better perspective on what our plans are for the farm. The farm manager, Edgar, tells us once we get everything together, we plan on doing about 3 million pounds a year. We're nowhere near that right now, but I think in about 6 months, and hopefully COVID, like you said, goes away, or then we can really ramp up the business and get more people hired. If the business warrants it, of course, we want to hire as many people as we can. That was one of the main goals of coming here to Shoshoni. So my job, I'm 49 years old. I've been in the food business all my life, and is to get that farm, up and going. And then also, all my life too, my children, we've always been an asset to the community. Mayor and I have talked about, restaurants and all kinds of stuff. I am a trained chef, so I would love to cook for all of you one of these days, and help out with the city any way we can. Our goal with the farm and our team is really to be an asset to the community, however we can. We do understand that there are some needs, as we develop and grow the business. One of the things that we've talked about was a new sewer line that can accommodate both the farm, the property there now, and in the future maybe some additional housing. So I can't speak for all of the corporation. Being the new general manager there, I'm learning a lot. Yesterday was my first day there, and there's a lot of things that we need to analyze still. I'm open to any questions you may have. I may not be able to answer them all. Like I said, I just really started yesterday, but I did spend a few weeks back in September, October here trying to analyze what the farm needed and some of the obstacles we have to overcome. So I'll try and answer any questions you may have. Great.
Yeah, one of the things we talked about, that they're planning, the plan is to build housing out there, correct?
That if the business warrants it, obviously when doing 3 million pounds a year, we anticipated 50, 60 employees. That would warrant housing, of course. And there's 3 houses there now, I believe. If we were to add 30, 40 more units, obviously a sewer line would greatly benefit.
Are you guys still talking about doing the church?
I haven't, myself have not been involved in those talks. That is a possibility. I heard just a little bit, but no, I have not. I couldn't say you either which way yet. Yeah. I can certainly find out.
There was conversations of possibly a grocery store.
Oh yes, most definitely. That is my background as well. I've taken a really small business. I've worked with you name it, Kroger's, Albertsons, Safeway, and everything. Restaurants. I've run many restaurants before. I've been in the meat business. I've been in the produce business, and all of those things. So I don't know exactly what the town needs, or whatever services I can offer, whatever experiences I have that I can share to benefit the town and its people. I'm all for it. I would, I've been here, like I said, I've been here 5 days, and I love to eat, as you can tell. And I'm like, where do I have to go to eat around here? And it's late at night, and a great cafe. I make a really good spaghetti. I mean, I would. It'd be nice to have some place to stop in, and if there's anything I can do to lend in helping the farm, whatever we can do, we're all for it.
But when we talked talked several times with reasonable that expect 20 homes and possibly more. Is that an unreasonable expectation?
Not at all. I'm a dreamer, but I've seen a lot of my dreams come to fruition. When I remember when I first started my first business at 19 years old, I didn't think it was going to turn into a multi-million-dollar company and have 120 employees. And, we serviced over 900 convenience stores. And that's, but that's not, we had convenience stores, we had hospitals, we had grocery stores, we had schools. And, that's just making sandwiches and salads and stuff for, but it's that's what America's built on, right? Things start really like this and they mushroom.
And yeah, mushrooms.
Yeah, right.
The sewer line also out to the farm, that'd be an asset to help the farm too, correct?
Most definitely, yes. Most definitely. I can't speak too much of it, just being here a few days, that's one of the things on the agenda for us to go over with our team. And I did get a chance, my first day here, I was able to sit down with, Mayor was so kind to meet with me already. And we were able to talk about this in length, yet all the parties were not there. So thanks for inviting me tonight and to be able to share some of my experiences and some of our visions moving forward. And again, I'm happy to be one of the newest residents. In fact, I'm not the newest because Mary Beth just came the day after me. She's in healthcare, but she's going to be working in the farm as well. I think she can be a tremendous asset to the community too.
Can you tell me how much waste you'll produce with 3 million pounds of mushrooms going through our sewer system? And the next follow-up question is for Buddy. Is our system big enough to hold that much? So he'll answer his question first. Go, please.
I couldn't tell you. I don't know how much waste yet. If you would allow me, maybe on the next meeting, that would be one. The first thing I'll try to find out at those volumes, maybe at 1 million, at 2 million, at 3 million, what the waste would be. I can try.
How much waste you produce right now?
No, I don't. I couldn't tell you for sure.
You have
I know the farm is on septic right now.
right.
That's about all I know. I'm sorry. I'll get
What's
you
the
that.
quantities of water, but do we know the quantity of water they use monthly?
I have no idea, Joel. Probably
I can tell you. Yeah.
No. I know the billing comes out to 3,000 average, about 1 million gallons a month, somewhere in there. I get you an exact number.
And that's for irrigation of their mushrooms,
I'm assuming.
I can't tell you this, Bob. I'm committed, and our company, my whole life, we've been committed to doing things the right way. If there's any supplements, anything we can do to make it more eco-friendly, we're all for that. I just apologize. I don't have all that information. Yesterday being my first day, that was kind of overwhelming already. But I do promise to get you all that information. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
To answer your other question, Bob, Thursday, I got James Ruff, DEQ engineer, come in to take a look at our wastewater. They know when they designed that pressure dose, I told him, design it for future development, but he's supposed to come down and do his little walkthrough and study and kind of give us a ballpark of how much expansion actually.
Yeah, if they want to expand, we don't have a place for them to expand.
But do you think we have any trouble if we were going to add 20 homes, Buddy?
At 20 homes, no, I don't think so. I remember when I was yay high around here, and there was quite a few businesses that ran, a lot more homes and stuff, and they were just on the lagoons that we got right now.
you know,
Right.
and we just recently put in that pressure dose where we don't have to discharge you the poison for it. So at 20 homes, myself, I don't see the issue at 20 homes, you know, for future development and all that, you know, it'd be nice to know, but at 20, no, you know, more than that, you know, this study with James coming down, give us a kind of ballpark of where we could look for other development if we want to, you know, so. But no, 20 homes, I don't think it would affect what we got right now at all.
You know, yeah, I know in the past talks, they were talking about, you know, with talking with Resty, that they figured 20 homes initially in the near future would be what they were looking at.
I can see that.
How many, as I was told, what, there's 27 employees
Yes, at the moment.
and could pretty easily double that or more.
Oh, most certainly. At the numbers that Edgar has been giving us, we're looking maybe 50, 60 more, or total, I should say.
So one of the main things this would allow this study, it would allow us to, we would know if we'd have to resize our line, if we got enough. That's part of this study. It would also be a move forward in the process of applying for grants. If we tie this into economic development, they can even raise our grant total for much more, and in some cases, some parts of it, maybe even 100% grant. But it would be a sort of a win-win that would be able to, why the sewer line would be able to, would enable to the subdivision to be built out there, which provides housing for employees. And that's the big push. Yes.
During that engineering study, a good thing to look into, which I'm sure it will at the time, is Maple Street, our main trunk for our sewer run to our lagoons. It is still a clay tile. It's never been replaced. You know,
Sure.
It's deep. You know, I read the day if I ever had to dig that up, because with our work, never had to do it. So with this being done, you know, they would have to consider possibly that whole trunk maybe being replaced too. So along with it, you know, getting it in here and having them look into it.
And which ties with economic development, makes us eligible for higher grants. But if the project was too big, we bring it to out. That's why if we had to resize that. But initially, what have we ever determined? Did you ever measure the size? Is it 10 or 12 inch?
I haven't had a chance to jump in there. I got maps showing 10, got another map showing 12, that somebody drew in there. So. But no, I haven't had.
But there again, if we're only talking 20, 30 homes, the size of it now would be sufficient. Right? That's what we talked about. If it turns into 100 homes, maybe it's not.
What about all the homes in between Maple Street and all the way out to the mushroom farm that aren't associated necessarily with just the mushroom farm, but with other development too?
Correct. You know, this allows us to open up that land, and part of it is for school teachers, Police officers, city employees to provide housing. That's been a big issue that we've lost, many teachers to Riverton, Thermopolis. We don't have many live in the district. Remember what year they allowed Harold Bailey to live in Riverton? That's 78,
Oh, man. Well, I bet it was for that.
77, 76, right in there. He was the first one to live out of district, to my knowledge. They used to require all teachers to live in district. I know, talking with the schools, they would like to have more teachers live in district, and opening this land up would hopefully open it up to a developer that would be willing to build homes for teachers. That's another benefit for the town.
No, like I said before, I've had, from my wife working at the school, teachers contacting me, asking about, horse property, which we could do on that far property on the other side of hers. And, I know one that said that moved out towards Pavilion and comes here to work. The only reason she moved over there was because she had a place for horses. So she ended up moving over there. So that I do have that, and plus I hear the same thing from when I meet up with the principal saying, housing would be nice.
That would allow us to develop that land.
It helps market more teachers too that just come out here and say, well, I don't want to commute, there's no housing. So, it just kind of thickens the pot on the applicants that are interested in where to choose from. And we have a great school.
Yes, we do. So there's could benefit me.
Next question, how are we gonna pay for it?
Well, I sort of outlined that. The big part of it is we do have funding in our sewer account.
We don't have to do that either. We had $107,000 at the maintenance department for the streets and sewers and alleys that we allocated $60,000 towards the grader. We didn't allocate there $47,000. So it's the city.
Oh, you mean the study?
Correct.
Okay, the study. Okay, let's talk about it.
Oh, yeah. That I can't solve that one today, but
Okay, yeah.
but that money was not allocated from that $107,000. It's $60,000 allocated, so the $47,000 stuff. Unallocated money that at the end of the year would roll back into savings.
Yeah. Let's talk about paying this engineering study. We're gonna have to do that to move forward.
So I've had a text message that came through from someone who's listening. It says, why start a new sewer project for a non-existing building site when we still need to finish the sewers in town? Why not finish for the existing homes before moving on to hopes and dreams?
Well, I think this is probably more than hopes and dreams. It's a need for the community. We're investing in the future. The existing sewer lines are presently all working. We are looking at grants to finish one of the sewer lines in town right now. Like what Buddy's talked about, Maple, that's a big project. If we can tie that in with economic development, that could save the town a lot of money.
Not moving forward could save the town a lot of money right now as well, based on economies of COVID
Not
crazy.
moving forward, but could cost the town a lot.
But it could save the town a lot. I think the ideas are great about the prospects of what the mushroom farm can do. I think it's premature. They put a lot into it, but several other companies have come in and put a lot into it, and no fault of their own or whatever the issues are. There's just some history behind hopes and dreams. And right now they're asking, or we're considering the town footing the bill for another series of hopes and dreams that may or may not happen.
This is not for only the benefit of the mushroom farm, but benefit for the community. We need housing. We need housing for teachers. We need housing for police officers, city employees, for one thing. We need housing to attract, other people. We've had other businesses looking at us. We don't have housing. We definitely have an issue to attract people here to the town of Shoshone. If we need a cafe, be nice to have enough people living here to support a cafe. We need to have a grocery store. We need to have enough people living here to support a grocery store. If we continue to stagnate, then we won't be able to help that. It'd be nice to have something going on here that my grandchildren won't work here later. And this is, housing has been an issue for the mushroom farm, for one. I believe they have a lot better management than what it's been in the past. I also believe they're more well-funded than what was here in the past. They're doing things right. They've spent a lot of money already on renovations out there. And if this moves forward, I've talked with their management that they will partner with us on the sewer line expense.
Do they give you a percentage of that partnership? Or just say we'll partner with you?
We have suggested a 50. Been in our conversation. We have nothing but that's been in our conversations.
Maybe it's worth suggesting now do a 50-50 on the engineer study as a show of good faith. If the town foots half the bill, and since it's going to benefit them the most immediate, if they foot the other half of the engineer study, then everybody's got skin in the game. And
I've suggested that. We didn't get an answer as of this meeting today. But if we move forward on this, we can roll this into our grant process into the project.
Well, it'd be nice if we get something going, because everybody's kids, once they get out of school, they bail and they're gone. And we need to do something to get kids back. I'm sorry, but we have a lot of people here that there's no kids. As soon as they're 18, boom, they're gone. There's got to be something more here besides what we have. We got to keep pushing on this.
Our average age, 30, I believe I looked at the numbers, 31 is state average. Shoshone is 47.
No surprise.
Average age 47. We are also one of I believe the 7th or 8th lowest per capita income in the state. Shoshone is. That was 2019's numbers.
We have one of the best schools in the state. We should improve our town and make it, we got everything here. Everything here. I mean, we've got the lake, we got outdoors, we're on the way to Yellowstone. There's no reason why we can't make this town keep growing. We've done a lot already. We're not hurting on our money. Our finances are great. I mean, we can do it.
We wouldn't have to raise what Chris was saying. We would not have to raise our budget to pay for this. We have money that's unallocated that we could use to spend without raising our budget. This is a big step forward to get this moving forward. And all this is a study that we can use, that we need. A lot of this information we could find out would help us. We're gonna be sizing our sewer lagoon. We can get a lot of information out of this study besides just for this, but we'll have to survey the land, writing a report, but they'll look at our sewer coming in from the west, and that's where we have expansion. You know, we may attract another WITA business from California, look real strong at us. We just couldn't provide a building for them.
You know, and the relationship with the other mayors in Fremont County is great. They like what we're doing in this town. They think the town's doing great. They like how things are going. I mean, how often, we got mayors coming over here watching us do river cuts. They're happy with what we're doing. They're happy with how the town's cleaning up. They're happy with the park. You know, look at what we've done trying to get it to where everybody can see what's going on. We've done a lot, and we haven't got into our dang money. We're doing a good job, and we should not stop on this.
But I think what we're talking about here is things like who wants to compete against Walmart and who wants to compete against these big boys of this reality. The world is not going back to mom and pop operations as much as we'd like it to. I mean, you could ask the entire audience here tonight, how many people are going, what would it take to going to Riverton for their groceries, for their haircuts, for their tires on their vehicle? And at what point can Shoshoni say, we're going to have all these things? And who's the businessman that comes in and says, I can provide better groceries than the Walmart?
Well, you can't compete with a Walmart. You're right. You got people here would go buy their milk. They go buy their bread. Oh, heck, I need butter. Why don't I go down to the store?
Well, that's what we have across the street now. I mean, those basic necessities of the bread, the milk,
Where do we have that at? What do you mean?
over at Fastlane.
Oh, well, yeah, but it's a whole different story. I'm talking a regular store. People coming in camping, they can pick up some propane cylinders. They don't have a little store would work here.
Sure.
A lot of small towns have. I'm not saying they're going to compete with Walmart, but I'm not going to go drive to Walmart to go get a gallon of milk either.
But the mushroom farm isn't competing against Walmart. And mushrooms, they sell a lot of them worldwide. A lot of them come out of California. They got a lot of experience out there. But yeah, COVID has hit that industry like it's hit many others. You know, there's a big market for mushrooms is restaurants. You know, but if we build it, that gives them the potential to expand housing, and that's one of the problems they have is housing. Is that correct? Well, we need housing. That would give the ability for them to put housing in. That would also give us the ability to put housing in on the west part of town. And we can tie it with economic development. There's a strong possibility that we're going to be a 75% or greater in the grant money, and maybe much greater. We won't know until we go, but I'm pretty comfortable it's going to be in that. And if we don't take this step and invest in our community and look forward, then we do nothing. You know, we need to invest in our future. We need to invest in our town. If you own a business, you need to reinvest in your business if your business is going to improve. You reinvest in your business, don't you, all the time, Mike?
I do.
Okay, that's
Without government grants, without hopes and dreams of people may or may not buy our services. And I think your fair questions are, the economy is terrible now. How many homes were built in Shoshoni in the past year? I think there was one stick-built home in the town of Shoshoni. How much property is available in Shoshoni? The town just gave away a big chunk that they could have used with the anticipation that 2 homes a year are going to be built.
we didn't give any land away.
I mean, as far as the part of the land swap.
I think we made a good deal for the town and good deal for the contractors who are going to start building homes.
2 homes a year, is the
Correct.
current estimate. So
No, and that's a heck of an addition for us. That's a,
sure, it's
That's
200% over last year.
no, and that's real good. We've had a couple other contractors looking at land. They weren't the only one interested on the land that we ended up making a trade in the sale. It's there's potential. Jody, from the audience, do you have anything to add?
So,
Can you come to the speak here? Make sure we.
My name's Jody Lang. I just had a question. Why didn't the mushroom plant buy the property across the road for them to own it to build their homes? And why did the town buy that? Is that in my other, with that question, is anybody gonna be able to build out there where the town just bought that? Or is that going to be just specifically for school teachers, city employees and cops?
Well, we hope to get developers in there. You know, I think that, you know, my desire is to make it affordable. And there's programs, we've looked into WCD stuff that can help teachers and city employees to get land, but we hope it's gonna be open up. No, I don't think we're gonna have enough teachers and city employees to buy all that land.
So my question is why did the town buy it if I could buy a chunk of it and build my own house there?
Well, you still can.
Still can.
Still can, but I got to buy it from the town. Is that correct?
Well, or a developer that buys it or whatever. We're gonna develop it. If you want to buy some, you should have went out and bought it.
I understand that, but what I'm trying to understand is why did the town buy it if it was available to individuals to go out there and build homes? The school teacher could have went out there and bought a section of land and built their home. Is that correct?
No,
Okay,
they wanted
now-
to buy the whole, they wanted to sell the whole parcel, the whole thing.
And the town can have the ability to put services out there that an individual can't. You're not gonna be able to put a sewer and water line out there.
Why?
A private
Why not?
a private party will not be able to apply for a grant to put the line in. We can apply for a grant and get the services. An individual will not be able to.
I understand
A
that.
company will not be able to. We can help develop our land.
So you're telling me that the town had to buy this so that the town can put in the water line and the sewer line, correct? And then so then you can turn around and sell the land to a developer. In return, the developer will buy the property from you guys. Then I can buy a piece of property or something from the developer.
That's one of the scenarios. That's one of the scenarios. But if we're gonna develop the land, we need to get sewer and water out there. It's just, you need to do that.
Okay, I'm just checking to
And we're
understand.
trying- We're just
'cause I
trying to
mean,
we're trying to get it developed for housing.
I didn't
And there's
understand why.
many- Yeah, there's many ways to skin a cat.
I guess I just didn't understand why the town bought the property. Other than you're telling me that the town had to own it so they could put the sewer and the water lines in. Is that correct?
That's simplification.
That's,
That assists in that deal and developing that land.
well, that's all
And if
I,
your town's gonna grow, you gotta develop land.
okay, makes sense, but,
Yeah.
okay, thank you.
You bet. Any other thoughts, ideas? Kind of a motion to approve advertising for preliminary engineering study to develop our sewer line.
I'll make that motion.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Been moved and second. Discussion.
I need a definition of where we're studying. Is it the whole town, just the
No.
northwest corner? I need that answer.
We would be studying, talking with Bud. We would probably run the sewer line down, extend from 4th Street to Herbst. We would extend it down at least to the housing where the mushroom farm currently has housing. We would probably look at it if we we're going to take it on further to the west. But that would encompass, if you look at the map, if we can, this map here, this is where we bought us 4th Street North from where our existing senior housing is to 7th Street. And then clear to the cemetery district bought 6 acres here. And there's a grave site right in here. But this is Herbst Road. So we have 40 acres here. This is a 40-acre plot that might be suitable for similar housing, or I think I know that the consultant we had in there said our lots were too small or should be made bigger. So if we double lot size or something like that, or even if there were half-acre lots, that would allow 80 homes, but that would be potential development there. We would run the sewer line at least down to where the housing is here, where they proposed that they think it more likely there'd be 20 homes or more there.
When we were talking about expanding on the senior center, you were looking at Bobby Britton's property.
Yes, we were looking going
And what was the price Bob was asking for that?
4,000 an acre,
And how many acres was that?
12.5 acres
12.5 acres.
for
So now we can do it,
50,000.
we can do it on the other side on the property we own and save that property, or save that money.
Correct.
So that was a total of how much for that property for Bob?
It's $50,000 for the 12.5 acres we bought, and we bought 113 acres for 95,000. And this is just adjacent to, and we'd have to run our sewer there too, but if we were going to expand our senior housing, it would be right here. And our 4 of our units are paid for at this time. I think we have a need there again for 4 more units would be a good thing for senior housing. And we could put that on this property we have right here. We run our sewer line be running our sewer line right down. Our housing would be here. Just being easy. So we bought all the land. Like I said, that other line was $4,000, 4,000 an acre. We picked up 113 acres for 95,000.
So take 50 off of that, because that's what we're gonna pay for
Right.
that. So we would actually pay a whole lot less.
So, that one of the reasons, we bought it, it was the price was right, for us to be able, we can hopefully pass that on to developers, to people want to build homes there. We didn't buy it, but we planned to sell it make a ton of money, and we plan to hope it's developed for people to build homes. Make them affordable homes so they don't have to spend $10,000 a lot or 4,000 an acre as it was here, but that's unimproved there too with no sewer and water.
Well, and then on the other side of it, of Herbst, like I said, that opens it up for people that
Yes.
want horse property.
If you open this up in here to 5-acre parcels or even 2-acre parcels or something like that, I know several people that would love to have city sewer and water and have land outside of town where where they're able to have a horse.
Well, even if on that section of property, you got those view lots that would be on top of that hill, even if there wasn't that brought in, that would
Sure.
still be nice view properties where people would put their own septic in.
Sure, up there, it would be suitable.
Mhm.
It would definitely be suitable up there for that. And we already, this property here, we already own. We have a water line running through it right now. We already own.
What's left for lots in town? A lot of the lots have been sold correctly, correct? On the lots that were available for sale, seems like when I was on there looking,
Yeah.
a lot of stuff has been sold.
Yeah, there's not a, well, there's.
Zero development.
Valves have some, huh?
It's right. There's been a lot that have sold with zero development, other than what's going on down by the clinic right now.
But this is all fast turnaround property. This has all happened recently. A lot of stuff has been sold recently.
Mhm. We have a lot more interest, but with, like I said, this study, that's gonna help us with here. Like I said, this is something that we definitely, I think, should look at here in the near future, the senior housing. Like I said, this will enable us to open this up. So maybe we'll possibly have some housing there next year.
Call for the question.
Any further discussion? Question's been called for?
Yeah, all you're doing is advertising for bids.
We would, yeah, all we're doing now is advertising for bids.
Yeah, because as a new kid on the block and I've been burned in other business.
Yeah,
I've
all
been
we're doing
burned
is that, all
myself
we're doing
with
is that,
ups and
all we're
downs,
doing
yeah.
right now is advertising.
'Cause I don't want to
for-
bite off a very big chunk as a new
Yeah.
kid on the block.
All we're doing
over
is
there.
advertising for bids.
Yeah.
We still have the right to reject any or all bids.
Sure. Well, there's no reason not to do that.
No,
In
no.
my opinion, but
but it's.
going
but
beyond
it's-
that, I'm gonna
But I'm just
take some arm twisting.
I'm just trying to lay out everything.
Yeah, I'm
So
with
you
you.
know what, that's what I'm
Just
trying to
get
do.
it looked at. That's it.
Well, it doesn't, yeah. It's better than sitting on your hands.
Sure.
So, yeah.
So all in favor of advertising for bids for engineering firms for the preliminary study of the sewer system? New sewer line?
Yeah.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carried, 4-1.
Yep.
Get this in the paper tomorrow or the next day. Hopefully we'll have some engineering firms with some interest. I have a Public Works report. See what I'm missing. And Jim, when he's done, you want to jump in on yours also?
No, for one, still working on the water study with Gores. Fixing to pull well 2 tomorrow. Joey with Fremont Well Service will be in to pull that so we can actually flush back down that. I think it was like 2 or 3 days. We got to flush 30 gallons per minute down the hole to clear that water up so they can run that camera in there. So we've been, last 2 days, been humped up on that because discovered a few things with getting this ready to do this. And one of them was as we started to pull that apart, figured out our check valve wasn't working. We had water everywhere, and we were soaked by the end of the day yesterday. So with that, I mean, it's kind of a plus because like I was telling Jim earlier, you're pumping well 2, you're pumping with a tank. That well shuts off, that tank's draining right back down into the hole. So there was a big water loss. So we did find that I had no idea it was there. Bad thing about that too is there's no isolation valves for each well. So I had, I don't know how far of a 10-inch line that I was draining back into that well house. We sat out there and waited just to be able to take that check valve out. So in that process, we finally did design a thing that's going to run it out the door. So we ain't in there with all that electrical. That was kind of scary, but so that's been kind of a chore there. Finally finished it up today, and like I say, Joey will be here tomorrow and we'll get it pulled and at least get that done. And like I was saying earlier, with the wastewater study, James Bruff with DEQ, that's not tied in with this engineering for the rest of it. This is DEQ that's coming down that designed that pressure dosing that's going to let us know, you know, how much more possibly could handle. So just to get that straight, it's not combined in on this other bit. Plus Electric, I want to say that they did a pretty good job of getting the lights in here. Our shop, it lit it up pretty good. They done pretty good. So they got it done and finished. They got the power ran to the park. Still got to get with the power company to have it dropped in, but like I say, they did a wonderful job. Engine brake signs finally got approved.
Heck yes.
The big holdup on that is I've got a GPS with a Wyoming map for hunting and stuff, and I took it out there and took the GPS readings, sent it to them, and it put them, I don't know, clearing thermop or something, according to their computer. So it didn't match up with theirs. Finally met up with them to get them to come out with their GPS and say, all right, this is where I want it. This is the GPS reading. But yes, I got the approval today and the paperwork, so we'll be getting them up.
He's been hunting on private land with his.
Not according to that. Rick and Cindy out there behind the new clinic, they got 4 of the taps. I think 4. How many lots did they buy? Was there
9?
9? Okay, they got 4 taps on the 9 lots that they did. They've shut down, of course, winter till next spring. And the same deal with fast lane, the 4-inch line that they're run in for the new fast lane. High Country, Rich Campbell called me up and says that we're too far in the winter to do that. We'll just wait for spring. So that's kind of on hold. Still doing the COVID sampling, racking the miles up on that new truck though, because with that, we have to run 2 samples a week over to FedEx. So, but so far I haven't had one come back saying, hey, you got COVID running throughout your town. So that's actually a plus, but, and that's about all I have. You got questions for me?
Nope, doing a good job.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
Jim, got something you'd like to add a little bit about the water study?
Thank you, Mayor and Council. You've heard Buddy talk about the polling well number 2. We expect that when that gets out on Wednesday, which is tomorrow, then we'll have the well flooded for about 24 hours. And then once that's done, we can get the TV camera down the well and take a look at things down the hole. From that, we expect to learn the condition of the screen in that well. It was installed in the middle 50s, I believe. We can get a sense of the condition of the casing, or would hope to, and you can see what the bottom of the hole looks like. Is there accumulation of sediment or what down there? So that'll be useful information. We hope to have that to you for next month's meeting. For the water master plan, we're in the process of completing the GIS, and that should be wrapped up before long. We're in the process of modeling the water system itself so we know what kind of pressures we have in the various parts of town and what the deliverable firefighting capacity is, and so forth. And we're starting to get into the beginning chapters of the report. So if there's anything else that would be of interest to you, I'll be happy to answer any of your questions. So, anything else? Thank you.
Anything else you need from the town or?
Not at this point in time.
Okay.
No, I think things are running along pretty good. So,
Yeah.
So thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thank you.
your help.
Yeah, just sort of like touch bases on a few things. Pardon? Just a few?
Police report.
Oh, please. Oh, I skipped the golf shop. I'm right here. I'm trying to get to.
I'll be brief.
12.
I'll be brief. I'll try to. First off, on staffing, Officer Neal, he'll be attending the Wyoming Law Enforcement Academy beginning on the 23rd of January. His training will go through April 19th, 2021. So in the meantime, we'll be moving to rotating 12-hour shifts, and I will be looking for a part-time reserve officer to work extra shifts here to help fill in the gaps until his return. Also, an update on the equipment. So to fill in the new council members, last year, the question came up about grants for radios, radars and dash cams and body cams for the police department. And we weren't eligible because our stats hadn't been being submitted to the state, and that's what generates the eligibility for grants. So in the last year, we've been doing that. And so we became eligible and were awarded $8,000 towards the purchase of a new radar and dash cam that will be made available for us that we'll use down the road, but that'll save us from additional costs down the road. And that's just from reporting our traffic related incidents, crashes, and whatnot to the state. It makes us eligible, as well as participating in the federal grants that we do for certain events throughout the year. Calls for service. I'm sure most of you were aware that pursuit, we got in with a stolen vehicle. Our new officer initiated that 109 miles an hour coming through town. That's not what he was doing. That's what the people were doing when they came through town, which was the reason he was stopping them.
Just on a cruise.
And
That beats the previous record. It was 86, I think, with the speeding tickets. So,
well, it shook town hall when it went by. So,
yeah.
So no warning?
No, there was no warning. As a matter of fact, I think Kathy and them only saw me running out the door
At 108.
at 108. It did end successfully with the apprehension of 2 juveniles. Vehicles stolen out of Colorado, actually.
Nobody got hurt.
Nobody got hurt. Speaking of that, we had 5 citations issued for various dog offenses in the past month, and that was one of the things that we were starting to work on. So we've had 5 cited. Condolences to one family and her hens who lost a sister due to a dog at large. That has been taken care of. However, we will still aggressively be pursuing dogs at large. And
No, I'm sorry, excuse me. The colonel.
There is a big coyote hanging out in town too, and he's not a small one, he's large.
Yeah.
and
You see him? He's big.
You run right across
I heard it
the old
crying there
football
tonight,
field.
Yeah.
but we will still continue enforcing the statutes a lot more of the dogs at large. They are still an ongoing problem. I'm not sure if you had any more complaints about barking dogs.
Is anybody missing a cat? Because I saw that big coyote with a cat in his mouth.
Seen a raccoon?
That coyote alone.
There's so many cats running around. How would you do this?
And raccoons will get into those chicken coops too. Absolutely.
But we are still not aggressively, but monitoring the dogs at large and trying to bring owners into compliance to prevent future occurrences. Happy to report property crime reports have significantly decreased over the preceding 2 months
Good deal.
compared to what they had been over the summer and leading up into fall. And we've had 4 other arrests stemming from DUI, warrant service, and disorderly conduct in the past month. I apologize, I can't speak tonight. So our arrests are 3 times what they were last year at this time already.
You got patrol going all the time. I mean, it's a nice thing.
We did have a small incident in fast lane that we responded to involving intoxicated subject who purchased but didn't purchase a pack of cigarettes and then started eating chips in the store, refused to leave, and I believe he was going to try and smoke the cigarettes in the store.
Okay.
So that was the highlight of this month so far. That's all I had for the police report. Told you I'd be brief.
I ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
It's more out of curiosity than anything. Cost to get somebody post-certified basic peace officer. But what is that nowadays? Has that stayed relatively the same over the last 10 years or?
We don't pay anything.
Really?
It's a salary.
Wow.
And the
Okay.
salary's cops grant funded. So,
Okay.
I mean, if you want to include that as part of what it costs to train them.
So there's no additional cost. They just do. Oh,
There
okay.
used to be.
I thought they used to pay, actually charge for that.
There used to be back
Room
in
and
the
board
day,
and all that.
but the state of Wyoming instituted a $5 surcharge on every citation issued into
Okay.
circuit court, which then funds the police academy.
You said back in the day, so you just called me old.
I was in the academy when we had to pay for it too.
Okay.
So I'm calling myself
You're
old too,
old.
in all fairness.
Okay, and then our new hire, as far as parity with other towns this size, is because I've been following police officer salaries nationwide, and Wyoming is still pretty low.
We are.
But-
And it depends where you go. The problem with that is a lot of places pick the lowest paying place and say, see, we're on par. We're doing good.
Oh, I'm with you. They don't take the average.
And they look at,
Yeah.
it's,
Yeah.
troopers are doing pretty good, but troopers also are state employees
Mhm.
and they're eligible for a lot of overtime. And it's not really a fair comparison between, you can't really compare the two, but Fremont County is definitely a lot lower.
Yeah. Casper's doing,
They're doing $15,000
Decent.
bonuses just to get officers
Yeah.
to apply. You come work for us, we'll give you 15 grand, and then we'll pay you $28 an hour as an officer. I mean, they still can't get.
yeah, I was just curious.
No, I know.
'Cause I haven't followed
It's-
the trends
It's,
for years.
well, if you watch the news, it's getting a little bit harder to find cops anymore.
Well, you can find a moonlighter out at state parks while Andrew's up. Guaranteed. I saw him referred to on Facebook as Mr. Handlebar Mustache himself. I'm sorry. I time to adjourn the meeting when I start in like that. So
And I briefly, just going to give the library report attached to my police report. I will screen share this for everyone to see. So for the month of December, the library reported 129 adult patrons utilizing the library, along with 17 children. Their special activity was the Taste of Traditions, which had 27 reported. No meetings, 16 attendance to story time, 0 visitors to the visitor center. Reported library usage was 151 for the month, of which 19 was computer use inside the library. 8 was reported as personal computer use. The librarian reports 121 books in circulation and 10 plus rotating DVDs. 3 new library cards were issued. She reported $16.20 in income and $140.40 for the fiscal year. And then her update on the Taste of Traditions activity was the same as last year. Father and his children came in after Christmas and were looking at different countries. She explained what she did and that there was a taste involved. The children asked if they could come to the event next year. Their father replied that they would watch for the information and attend. Comparisons from last year, 129 patrons compared to 181 reported. 17 children patrons down from 38. 16 story time up from 12. 0 visitor centers down from 2. Circulation is at 131, which is down from 169. And the librarian reports that although the numbers are usually down, they are not half of last year's numbers, and our time has been cut in half. Most of the patrons are not letting the cut to the library affect their usage. That is the end of the library report.
I just wanted to touch a little bit on the opening of the Shoshoni Health and Wellness Center. We had 90 people show up. Pretty good turnout. We had mayors from DuBois, Riverton, and Lander there. Shoshone superintendent was there. Bobby was there with an assistant. I mean, we had a lot of people. We had multiple people from Riverton. I know the last attendee of the night, he showed up a little after 5:30. From Riverton, didn't like the service he's been getting in Riverton, had been traveling to Lander. He said he was gonna start coming to Shoshone. Pretty impressed with the facility. We got it's nice, what they've done to decorate and setting everything up. Yeah, it looked like they're gonna have a real good staff, and I think it's a real asset for our community. A lot of positive input. We had 4 or 5 teachers, at least one principal, she was there. Like I said, Bruce is there, and after school, Bruce's wife came by. I mean, Sabrina. There was, we had a pretty good turnout. So, Gotchi Thursday will see their first patient, and Monday the clinic's going to be open Mondays and Thursdays, and they'll be open Monday to see their first patient. But that's really all I wanted to discuss.
I got one thing, not on the clinic. I had a friend of mine who is a police officer that I don't want to relay his name, but he was a local police officer asking about Shoshone's police department, saying, you know what, a lot of good things on it, was asking if we were hiring another police officer, and he's going on as an 8-year vet in the local area. So that's props to our chief for really turning our department around, making it a good thing, because that's a good thing. And I can let you, Chris, know who he was. I don't want to leave it out on the table for obvious reasons. But yes, he's going on as an 8-year police officer.
Okay, we got any input on my newsletter I put out? I'm going to be putting one out at the end of every month, try to communicate what we got going on in town. Any comments from council and then any of the public?
Where is it? I haven't found it on Facebook. I just shut down site.
You didn't get it mailed to you?
No.
Oh,
Yes, I do. Well, not anymore. I it's been turned off.
There we go.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay,
That's-
so
it was-
we'll make sure you get you one. I'll apologize for that. It went out to everybody that has a water bill. And put it out on their water bill. And put it on Facebook.
I'd like to thank Chris for putting the town ordinance book on town
Yep.
site. I had an assistant ask about where it was, and I looked and I could not find it. Chris put it on within a week. Thank you. The ordinance
Back up
book.
there that, it's online now?
This thing.
Well, good for you.
You
That's a
brought it
good
to my
thing.
attention. I agree that that was a priority. I made it a priority. And
Yeah, the citizen said, I want to look at the ordinance book. And I said, I'll look for it. And it wasn't there. So talk to Chris.
That's a good thing. Should have been my idea.
First day.
Yeah.
back.
it would have been your idea, right?
Yeah.
Anybody have anything else they'd like to ask before we adjourn? Kind of a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion. We adjourn.
Kind of a second.
Second.
Moved and seconded that we adjourn. Any further discussion? None being, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting adjourned. How many times do we go?
8:53.
Before 9 o'clock.
Wow.
It's a record.
Hoorah.
You do know, put